It's 9 AM in the morning and I'm already at London's Waterloo Station. We're in the tunnel here underneath the old Eurostar platforms and going to find breakfast at the Wetherspoons. Ah yes, here it is. It's called the Lion and the Unicorn. Well, let's go inside and see what the breakfast is like. There's an ad here for it in the window even. Well, after only around a 10 minutes wait, here it is. And amazingly, it's even hot. Wow, what a treat for Wetherspoons. Price, however, very expensive at £12.95. It isn't a railway station, I guess. A look at the general ambience inside, and there's a departure board for the trains. The manager unusually said it was okay to film, however, as long as I didn't show the faces of any staff. Breakfast fully eaten, it's time to catch my train, the 10 AM to Portsmouth Harbour. Here she is. I have no idea what an arterial service is. It sounds like a medical condition. On board in the comfortable surroundings of the carriage.
Was a Woking, Guildford, Farncombe, Godalming, Hazelmere, Lifford Bliss, Petersfield, Rowlands Castle, Hammond, Bedhampton, Hilsea, Fratton, Portsmouth Southsea, finally Portsmouth Harbour. To get a wrong time into the harbour today, 11:58. Telling my harbour assistants currently find me at the rear of this 5-coach train, but we'll be making way for your train junior journey. Please note, contactless and Oyster cards are valid on this service. First station stop on this service is Woking.
I assume he said Oyster and contactless payment cards are not valid on this service. Anyway, with that, so, here we go. And welcome to Carl's Travel Channel, where every journey costs less than £200. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. And always remember, the nearest exit may be behind you. As we head out of Waterloo on this glorious sunny morning, my regular viewers will be pleased to know that I've cut out most of this train journey, since you've seen nearly all of it before in the Portsmouth to Santander video. Leaving the old Eurostar platforms behind, where the Wetherspoons resides underneath, I've only included the highlights and anything different I thought you may find of interest compared to last time. This train looks like it's chasing us. I wonder who will win the race. The fare for today's journey to Portsmouth Harbour was only £15, booked on the SWR app around 10 days in advance. A pretty good bargain, really. But what is more, even amazing, is the train has actually departed on time. I cannot believe it. Now let's leave that other slow coach train behind us and get the show on the road and out of here. We've got a ship to catch. We pass through Vauxhall Station and the Vauxhall area, which is being developed at an astonishing rate, with new towers popping up all over the place, and it's the home of the new US Embassy, of course. Maybe I spoke too soon about being on time. As other trains pass by us, we've stopped and ground to a halt. I just hope we start moving again very soon. I'm beginning to start worrying. Phew, we are back on the move and passing through Britain's busiest railway station, Clapham Junction. We won't be stopping here today, however, and heading through fast, which is always nice and keeps us getting towards Portsmouth a little quicker. Although, to be honest, when I say fast, this is definitely not fast and we're going through very slow. Oh well, I suppose you get a look at it, of course. The various carriage sidings are down there over to the left, where trains wait for the night to come back into Waterloo in the morning. Soon enough we are out of London and passing through the glorious green fields with the lovely blue sky above, crisscrossed by various airline trails. Being a Londoner like myself, it's always nice to see some countryside. One of the many en route stops is here at List Station, which I filmed because I really don't remember it in the Santander trip. It's a small little village between Hazelmere and Petersfield. I must admit the stopping arrangement for these trains seems to vary on each journey. With it now being the last week of September, the autumnal golden colour of the fields, grass and trees is really beginning to show. However, there are many trees still green, due to the very warm summer we had this year. The next stop it feels like we are creeping or crawling into is Roland's Castle, a very unusual name, named after the King Roland. No, sorry, I'm joking, of course. It is named after an old Mott and Bailey castle, which the remains of not far from the railway line are barely in existence now. Apparently Henry II spent a few days hanging out there just a few years ago in the 15th century. We head out again, but sadly I can see no sign of the castle from the tracks. If you could see it, let me know in the comments below. One last glorious section of green English countryside before we reach the coast. To be this green in late September is really quite astonishing. As we make it down to the South Coastway at Havant Station, what looks like a very lost Gatwick Express train passes us. But alas, these are now used here on services between Portsmouth and Brighton and Eastbourne. With that, just like magic, we make it to Portsmouth and Southsea Station. The bay platforms and Victorian-style roof are off there to the right, but we will be continuing through on these through platforms, down here to Portsmouth Harbour, where, by magic, we've already arrived. A quick look at the carriage here as we pass through and head out of the train. And eerily similar to last time, there's the HMS Warrior waiting there at Portsmouth Historic Dockyard. Just as I arrive here at the adjacent Gunwharf Quays, you can see Whitelinks St Clair sailing off there in the distance to the Isle of Wight. And of course Portsmouth's notorious Spinnaker Tower, where I took the ride up to the top on my Portsmouth to Santander video. One of Whitelink's two identical catamarans sits over there, the White Rider 1 or 2. And where is this fellow going? Let's see where she's heading. According to marine traffic, this vessel is a tug. Is anybody on board even? Oh my, she's hurtling in here at an incredible speed. Is this going to turn into one of those silly videos on Facebook where the boat rams the dock? Well, she has stopped just in time. Sadly, no viral video today. Hi everyone, and welcome to a glorious and sunny Portsmouth, here on this afternoon just after around 12:30. I'm here to catch, well, hopefully a ferry out across the channel, and well, with the conditions of weather today, it should be glorious. There's a Whiteling vessel behind, making a bit of a racket. From here I'm going to enjoy a beer in the nearby Spinnaker Cafe, next door to the adjacent famous tower of course, which I went up on my Santander video. And then it's around only a 10-minute bus ride from the Hard bus station to Portsmouth International Port. So come along with me and I'll see you there. I can also see my hair is back to its usual craziness like it was when I visited the South Bank. Let's hope we do not need that lifebuoy on today's trip. We're head here now to the cafe at the adjacent tower. Well, after that fright, it's time to have a beer and celebrate the start of my holiday. And cheers, just as somebody else gets in the way of the camera behind. Yet another Whitelink arrival from Fishbourne on the Isle of Wight. This time, it's the St Faith. I wonder if we will see them all today. Just as she arrives, there goes the White Rider 1. She operates the fast cat service from Portsmouth here to Ryde Pier. Well, by some strike of luck, I think this place is a ferry spotter's paradise, and here is the other Whitelink vessel, the Victoria of Wight, their largest ship. Then finally, coming into view is what I have come all this way for, the Brittany Ferries vessel, the Mont St Michel. She looks much larger and more imposing than anything else that's come through the harbour so far this afternoon. And seeing her is really building up the excitement for starting my holiday. On that note, now she has arrived, it's time to get on my skates and out of here and down to the ferry terminal. So let's head here to the bus station. This is also the same arrival place for the National Express coaches from London, should you take one of those instead, and avoid the hassle and risk of being on a delayed train. The bus station appears nice and safe and modern. I won't film inside, however, since it's too busy in there. One of the buses here to get to the port is the 20 to Havant, which runs about every 20 minutes, but there are some other services too. And so, here we go. The bus fare is now £2.20, which has gone up 20p since I came in May. You can buy the ticket directly on board and pay the driver either using contactless card or cash. See, the HMS Warrior is still in port, and she has not set sail yet on another swashbuckling adventure. Flanking the corner here, we pass one of the entrances to Portsmouth Historic Dockyard. Within 15 minutes I arrive at Portsmouth International Port and its large modern terminal building. Despite seeing these anchors now several times on my videos, I've still not received any comments about what vessels they are from. If you know, please let me know in the comments below. And check-in was nice and quick and easy, and up on the balcony with a nice view of the car park. The ship arrived around 15-20 minutes ago, but it's still unloading and only has about an hour to turn around. You could just about see her over there in the far distance. Security was a little slow and cumbersome, especially compared to the French end. However, we were through within not too long a wait and on the port's transfer bus to the ship. A little nervous as the last time I went on one of these, it was pouring with smoke inside. Right, I now feel like the bus is stopping to give the bus a good old rev to get up this hill. Hold on to your seats, let's hope for the best. Given the state of these buses, will it make it or not? I'm not quite convinced. Hopefully it's in the right gear. I always love seeing inside the ferry's car deck.
Your attention please. For everybody's comfort and to avoid any flat batteries, please call all car passengers turn off the alarm system and ensure the handbrake is fully applied.
I'm not sure why one side of the ship is fenced off. I hope it's not like that for the whole sailing. And we made it on board, and of course, first thing I do of course is come upstairs right to the top to the outside deck to get a view and some fresh air. The huge and imposing triple funnel arrangement on this ship is really quite impressive, and it looks like the cleaning team are still down there making the final arrangements for the crossing. Whilst you get a chance, please remember to like and subscribe. It really does make a difference to my channel. And welcome aboard the Mont St Michel. Launched in 2002, she was built in the Netherlands, the second to last ferry constructed by the now defunct company Van de Giezen de Noord. She has space for 2,123 passengers and 830 vehicles. The Mont St Michel has operated with Brittany Ferries for her entire service life of 18 years. And another look before we depart at Portsmouth International Port, and the cars are being loaded still below. And the boarding bridge is up and we're ready to go. And that's it, we're off. So, here we go. Or bon voyage, as they say in France. Departure time is only 15:11, which, given that is only 11 minutes after the scheduled time, is really quite impressive. And so, I've speeded this up a little so you can watch her depart. Now we are underway, let's go for an exploration of her decks. Leaving the lower veranda deck on her stern down there, we pass through the impressive triple tunnel arrangement. Well, tunnel or funnel? It's both really, I suppose. And the obligatory guide here on the wall to looking out for whales and dolphins. I'll have to keep my eyes peeled. Maybe after a couple of drinks, I'll see one in the bar later. And a view here of Her Majesty's Royal Navy Base at Portsmouth. Sadly, like every other single time I've been through this port, none of the Royal Navy's aircraft carriers are here today. Instead, there is some kind of training ship there called the HMS Argus. Sorry, she is actually the RFA Argus, standing for Royal Fleet Auxiliary, and it's a fairly old ship launched all the way back in 1980. For my regular viewers, you have probably come used to this departure sequence now, speeded up, leaving Portsmouth Harbour, passing first of all here at the Portsmouth Historic Dockyard with the HMS Warrior. The White-Link Fast Cats are in front there, moored up, and the Gosport Ferry. Despite me passing this now on many occasions, it never fails to impress, and always offers something different of interest. White-Link's Victoria of White is nestled in there over there, looking very top-heavy of course as usual in its berth. Passing again the usual array of pubs and restaurants on the quayside, and even though I keep mentioning every time, I have still not visited one. That's a note to myself for a future trip. Exiting the harbour, we can just see the South Sea in the distance with its pier, and that is the departure place of the Isle of Wight hovercraft, the last remaining commercial hovercraft service in the world. The small, what I call half a ferry, the Condor Islander, or now simply known as the Islander, passes us in the other direction, arriving from Guernsey at 4 PM sharp. This was the very ship I saw mysteriously emerge out of the fog on my Paul to Guernsey video. You can see that on my ferry channel pages, now with a vast array of different routes to choose from. Over there is the first glimpse of the Isle of Wight on this crossing, with the sun blazing above on this warm day. And a beautiful view of her stern, leaving England and the mainland behind us, with the flag of France flying proud. The English Channel really is as calm as a mill pond tonight, and it would stay like this fortunately for the entire crossing. Really amazing. I'm I'm now feeling very peckish, so I head to the snack bar and buy this chia batter, which comes with a salad for only €9, and it really is very filling and delicious. The Coke was around €3 extra from the main bar. I will point out the snack bar a little later when I give you a full tour of the decks. The main bar is over there. Then at our seat in the bar, we end up playing bingo.
You are playing across your whole sheet for both of these games, so don't just look at the top box, look at all 6. If you haven't played bingo before, a useful tip is that all your single-digit numbers will be in the first column, everything starting with 1 will be in the second column, and so on and so forth.
Alas, sadly, we didn't win. Now that's over, let's head here, past the stage area, where the bingo and other various onboard entertainment is hosted, including a magic show and several singers. And in front here is the snack bar, as promised that I would point out. Heading up the stairs from the bar area, it comes out into the very large games room. Compared to the new ferry, Ouistreham to Normandy, which I take on the way home, and you'll see on a video very soon, this games room is absolutely massive and offers a really wide variety of different machines. It is not a casino, but there are lots of different various driving games, pinball games, air hockey and dancing games. Some change machines here also to change your coins. Being on the top of the vessel, from here is a direct window and access to the outside deck and this little atrium to the bar below. Nowhere near as big and impressive as the one on the new vessel, however. Considering how nice the weather is today, for the last day of September, let's have one last walk out here and soak in some of the warm air. And enjoying the ambience out on deck with the smoke from the funnels and the haze trailing behind us. A table tennis facility is located up here, although I must admit it looks like it's seen better days, like some of this paint on board as well. The interior of this vessel was actually based on the MV Normandy itself, which of course sadly has now retired, although I do take a look around her on my video from last year, and you can see that on my channel. And in case you would like to sit down, there is one solitary deck chair located here for you to have a nap. I think this is a crew area nestled away over in the corner. And we head back inside here through the games arcade. Down the stairwell there's some adverts for the onboard duty free, although I must admit I never actually saw it open for any of the crossing. A plan here of Pont 9, or Deck 9, and this is where most of the cabins are located. They have the full mixture of pet cabins, standard cabins and allergy-free cabins. I think there are a few larger deluxe cabins as well. Sadly, because this is a day sailing, I do not have one that I could show you around, so you have to make do with the second best option, and yes of course, that's to see the corridor. Well, it is a nice looking corridor anyway, and I'm sure the cabins are nice too. But if you do wish to see one, please either watch my Portsmouth to Santander video or the up and coming Ouistreham to Normandy video, where you will see the new cabins on the E-Flexes. Yet another advert for the mysterious duty free store. Well, alas, I've not taken you in, but at least you can see what is on offer. We complete our loop here, returning back to the bar, and I'm going to have a beer to celebrate being on holiday.
Film The Naked Gun et Fantastic Four. Au cinéma dans 30 minutes, les tickets sont maintenant en vente au bureau de l'information au pont numéro 7. Merci.
That was a rather loud announcement advertising the onboard cinema. Being nicely finished and continuing the tour down this end of the vessel is the a la carte restaurant. It is certainly a grand entrance with lots of nice decoration and strange memorabilia here. There is also a seating lounge to the right which is open to everyone. And in case you have your CEO on board and Chief Finance Officer, yes, there is a whole boardroom table here. Who knows what on earth this is for? But it does look very grand, and like the captain's table. And, talking of grand, in the corner over there is a grand piano. Yes, get away and start playing your music. The menu for the a la carte restaurant so you can see what is on offer, and a nice touch next to it here are these scrolls. I can certainly recognise that as Mont St Michel, bringing back lovely memories of my trip there. There are various different cabinets and cases here of some old maps and things. Back down towards the bow end of the ship, just along from here is the duty free store, which I do not sadly go into as it was closed. Here is the ship's main entrance hall and staircase. I must admit, not as impressive as the one on Normandy or even the newer vessels. I am now very peckish, so make it to the gallery, the name for the Mont St Michel's self-service restaurant. Now let's check out the food offerings. I must admit there was a lot more selection than on my sailing on the Santona, so I enjoy this fish and chips for $13.50, including a beautiful and delicious dessert. And what could be better than enjoying dinner with a view over the bow of the ship, with the waves coming towards us. A look here at the deck plans, since I think I missed them out earlier on. Back up on deck 9, it's now dark outside, and I'm passing back through the snack bar so you can take a better look around it now there are no people in here. Rather strangely, there is this nice old cinematic film camera. It looks really impressive. Lights, camera, action. Well, that is all the action you are going to get. The doors are whooshing open, because I'm not going to dance around like a silly TikToker or Instagram person. Let's do a little re-exploration of the decks. Now it's night time. I love the humming sounds of a vessel you always get as she steams through the ocean. Though compared to most, it is very quiet up here. A beautiful sunset over the English Channel, and just around there, yes, that's the moon, hanging out just above. And for about the first and only time on this crossing, I get blasted by that channel wind. With that, we make it into the well-lit port of Ouistreham. The beautiful scenic lorry park is there to greet us. That's our arrival berth there to the side, the one and only one at the port in blue. I will take a good look around Ouistreham on my next video.
Hello everyone, this is your entertainment manager. Just a big thank you for all of your engagement in all of our activities. Without you, it is not possible. You will receive an email at the end of your crossing. If you have enjoyed any of the entertainment during your travel, we kindly ask if you could mention us to the entertainment team. My name is Tom. The entertainment host is Holly, and the special guest is Rob. I hope you have a lovely evening and hope you see you on board soon. Thank you.
At least, of course, here, unlike Portsmouth, there is a boarding bridge for foot passengers.
All the crew, we hope that you enjoyed your crossing on board the Mont St Michel. We thank you for traveling with Brittany Ferries and look forward to welcoming you on board again soon. We wish you a very nice and safe journey.
Passing the lifeboats, which luckily on this crossing we didn't need to use, we head promptly off the ferry. And here, of course, there is a nice departure bridge to use. This really speeds up the embarkation or disembarkation process. It's now time for a very tired me to walk down the dark little road up to the B&B Hotel, Ouistreham. And with that, thank you for watching Carl's Travel Channel. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.